Welcome, everyone, to That Kind of Nerds podcast, a weekly show that tells you what is going on in the nerdy world. I am CJ Millen, joined by Josh Burns and Brian Thornton.
What up?
Hi.
Oh, Brian. If this is your first time listening to the show, I do want to encourage you to go to intro.thatkindofnerd.com, where you can actually hear our hand-picked episodes that we recommend to new listeners. The link is in the show notes. If you don't know how to do that, just usually swipe over or down on your podcast app, and you'll be able to get them. So if you're new, welcome. I'm very glad to have you here. And welcome to our 150th episode.
Yay!
It's incredible. 3 years, 150 episodes. Technically not 150, but 150 main episodes. Incredible. So, welcome on.
Yeah, there's another like 70. There's like another 70 like Hated You See and other ancillary feature episodes.
Well, I mean, just with interviews with our dads, right? We had a couple Nerd Bites in there. We had some Game of Thrones episodes that we had thrown in.
We've done a lot of episodes. We get it.
It's 100.
No need to be swinging your giant penis around there, CJ.
It's 167, just for those who want to know the number. 167, including this one. So anyway, listen, let's just get on to what's going on in the nerdy world. And I want to start off with my love and habit of going around the internet, finding the weird, finding the obscure, and then, of course, asking these two guys for a tech perspective. And I want to start off with something... It's a modem. I like that better. I like that better than the boops. The whisper at the end. It's always the whisper. The tech perspective. All right. We had talked about this a while ago, but now this is becoming a little more mainstream. Lyft is offering a monthly subscription service. It's expanding to more cities, and it now has a wait list. It is $200 a month for as many $15 rides as you can take.
That's not quite right.
Well, if you spend more than $15, you have to pay the up.
Well, it's for 30 rides.
Oh, I thought it was all you can eat.
It is. It's $200 up front for $15 off 30 rides. So any ride $15 or less is free, and rides over 15, the rider pays the difference. I probably, like this week in San Francisco, I probably spent almost $200 in Ubers, like between Orlando and San Francisco. Yeah, I mean, it was probably easily that much because I don't rent cars anywhere I go.
That would explain your jet lag voice and your radio deep announcer today.
So, look, for me,
this is Josh's travel voice.
For me, this is
Traveling with Josh.
It's my travel weary voice.
Nights at 11. Hear all the seedy stories happening.
It's actually only on HBO After Dark. So you have to tune in there and beware of what
it's like those. It's like that taxi cab confessional. Just Josh driving around in an Uber.
That's exactly what it is. So this is Lyft, not Uber, which is fine. Lyft is like Uber's cooler, less politically incorrect younger brother.
That's my last.
Yeah, and. I don't mind Lyft. You're not guaranteed as good quality a car, but like I've met way cooler Lyft drivers than Uber drivers, and this is a good deal if you are always using a rideshare service. This is a really good deal.
This reminds me of what MoviePass should be. Right, which is a lot
always
of movies.
Comes back to MoviePass, CJ.
But I think
Let's talk more about MoviePass.
Well, we will later.
How they're not going to survive ever.
We'll talk about that.
See, this is a business model that actually works.
Right,
you know how
that's
they
what I'm
make
saying.
Money.
I would glad if the thing was buy a movie ticket, but if I want to see IMAX, I got to pay the difference. I'm quite okay with that versus just ruling all of it. But Brian, I mean, you're not much of a rideshare guy, right? You're not doing this in your crazy palatial estate visits.
I mean, I've been doing rideshare a little bit more because I've been traveling a little bit more recently. But no, I'm not a big rideshare guy. I will say this: if I can get a Lyft driver like the Uber driver I had in Florida, who had a Nintendo Switch with monitors all set up, and I could play Nintendo while driving, that was fucking amazing.
Was it Exhibit? Was that who it was? Did he pimp his ride out?
He pimped his ride, yeah.
He did pimp his ride. He had like these like neon lights, like he was like glowing as he drove up to me, and I was like, I want that. please let me get into that car. And then he was like, hey, I'm your Uber. I'm like, yes, I get to get in the car. It was awesome.
All right. Well,
I played a round of Mario Kart and soundly beat my girlfriend on the way to the hotel. It was fun.
It's hilarious.
You beat your girlfriend at Mario Kart, correct? I just want to make sure we got the.
Yes.
Just
you didn't forget how to you didn't forget how to Uber and do elevator instead.
I'm sorry. Is my name Ray Rice? Or
you forgot how to Uber and did football instead. I should say.
Yeah. If I were indeed in the NFL, I wouldn't be here. I'd be in elevators, soundly beating somebody.
My joke went horribly, horribly wrong.
So, like, look, I think overall, if first of all, it's going to be like major cities, right? But like for people who use rideshare, let's say several times on the weekend, right? Getting to and from. And I know, like I do, if I'm going out, to meet Brian at a local drinking type establishment, I Uber there. Like I'm not gonna.
Right.
I'm definitely not driving. So I probably Uber 20 times in a month. 30 rides is a lot. Like I don't know anybody who commutes to work and home every day using Uber. So that's seems like a lot. So there's definitely some balance there going.
Is it 30 rides within the year? Like I'm confused.
No, it's a month.
It's a month.
A month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that just seems,
some people obviously don't have vehicles, right? I mean, in New York, no one owns a car. They pretty much.
In New York, there's a subway.
Yeah, man. There's
I'm aware. But I mean, you could easily ride up $200 in New York with.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Like, easily.
The only thing I didn't see in here is how they address surge pricing.
I guess the answer is you have to pay the difference.
Yeah.
They'll still just give you that $15 credit. I think it's interesting. I think more things need to do this, especially with services that are competing against bigger ones. Like Lyft is competing against Uber. So do something cool and innovative, and I think you can kind of get it up there. I think it's definitely interesting. And if you're a Lyft user, it's definitely something to check out, especially when you look at your monthly budgets.
Indeed.
So I want to move on to a little bit of follow-up from last week. We talked about how Amazon is changing their pricing as of Friday, May 11th. So it's already happened, people, okay? But there's a couple...
So this is a timely story is what you're saying.
No, but there's a couple...
People can take advantage of this right now.
No.
These loopholes. When this airs on
but Josh had
14th,
Josh had a few questions.
People will be able to take advantage of this because it's not after the 11th.
Josh had a few questions about how people could kind of loophole this.
I'm just glad we're getting the message out loud and clear.
So Josh, you asked last week, could you just go ahead and renew Amazon Prime before the changes and be fine? The answer was no. The other answer someone came up with was, hey, I'll gift it to myself before the price increase. Haha, I'll be fine. No, that also didn't work. Amazon saw through your tomfoolery because you get a free 30-day trial, and then when the 30-day trial
But what
is
if
over,
I want to get that gift from me to me?
Well, that's just get drunk and shop on Amazon like everyone else does.
I mean, the crazy thing is...
I don't need to be drunk to shop on Amazon. Let's face it.
I don't understand why more people don't share Prime memberships.
That's what I don't get either. Or if you're a person who doesn't Amazon shop a lot, doing Prime monthly, like, oh, I know I've got birthdays or anniversaries, get Prime. Christmas time, get Prime monthly. And then this way you're only paying for maybe 4 or 5 months out of the whole year versus all the year.
Here's where I'm at. If you don't care about the streaming, right? The however many screens at once aspect, right? Like I'm not going to watch a ton of stuff on Amazon Prime. Some stuff, not a ton.
Right.
And I don't care about sharing a login because you can set as many addresses as you want in your address book.
Right.
For shipping. So like it just, inevitably you're going to forget to change the address every so often and you're going to ship some shit that you wanted, CJ. It's going to come to me or whatever. Right. But like it doesn't make sense for at least in my head, that a bunch of friends wouldn't just split a Prime membership.
I mean, especially if you have roommates or you're living in the same house. I don't know why you're not doing that.
Yeah, sometimes they're like there's 7 people picked to live in a house.
And things, when things start getting real.
Is that a true story?
It is. It's a true
story. About when things stop getting polite and start getting
real. Yeah. It's the Prime house.
And you know what they should do? They should put it in different cities. Like they start with New York and go all over the place.
Yep.
I think the only downfall to that, Josh, the only thing I can think of that can get sticky real quick is some people make preferred methods.
Well,
of
I mean,
payments.
with 7 people in the house, things are bound to get sticky.
Is that payment information staying on Amazon that eventually someone else's card gets charged and for your big purchase instead of your card, and then you've got to figure, can you Venmo me the $35 you just spent on a TARDIS
Listen,
mug?
I don't know what you're doing with all these tube socks, but you put it on my card.
Fix it.
The tube socks are to prevent the stickiness.
At least he took the bait. That's good.
All right. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about Google I/O. For those of you who don't know what the hell that is.
Oh, speaking of sticky.
This is... Oh, man!
This
Brian's
is the
on
sticky
fire
episode.
today. It is Google's developer conference. There's a couple things that obviously shook up the internet, kind of tipped people off, but I want to talk about one thing first before we talk about what happened.
Are we going to talk about this devil child holding a baseball bat?
Yeah, so, for those of you who are going to the show notes, right, you will see a wonderful GIF on the Verge article here saying the amazing feature Google promised and never delivered. So a year ago, Sundar Pichai was on stage and said, hey, listen, Google Photos, if you're, like, at a kid's baseball game and you're taking a picture through a chain link fence, and the chain link fence is all in the way, we'll remove the fence. And it's coming very soon, and it's been 365 days, and it's still not here. This is what Google does a lot with their conferences. They'll show off an amazing feature or something really cool, and it never happens. It never comes. Just like, remember we talked about partial app downloads?
This is the entire, like, Gavin Belson premise from from Silicon Valley. Like, this is box. Everything they do is box all the time.
So the reason I bring up the fact that Google talked about this amazing thing that everyone was going to get in Google Photos, it was coming soon, it never came, brings us to this, this really amazing, but at the same time really weird thing that they showed off. So they also showed off the Google Assistant making a phone call. It was a system called Google Duplex. And the first time I saw this, my jaw hit the floor, and then like in the mask, my tongue rolled out of my mouth, and then I was drooling and howling and hitting the table with a chair. I was very excited about this until I kind of thought it through all the way. And there were a couple things that I didn't like about this. And there's a link in the show notes to watch the video if you haven't seen this, so I highly recommend you check it out. But this voice assistant is saying and and tricking the person on the other end to think that they're talking to a person, but they're talking to a computer. This person's unaware that they're talking to a computer. It's very one-sided. It kind of sent off a lot of bells with people. I'm very curious to hear what you thought about this. Josh, what did you think when you first saw this? What were just your first impressions of Google Duplex?
I mean, it seems if you look at the demo that they put out there with the fence and the kid with the crazy eyes and the bat, right. Everything seems fake. Once this feature takes over, like it just
Photoshop's a wonderful device.
It just doesn't seem real. And I'm not talented enough to manipulate stuff like this in Photoshop. So like, it seems like if I were taking a picture of a kid that was a bat, I'd just position my lens in between the chain link and problem solved, I think. Like it just,
or get up out of the stand and move 5 feet away from where the chain link fence is. I'm just saying,
it's kind of I mean, this seems like I get it. I get there's a need for it, but like,
did I just time travel? Did I like go back? Like
he's not done yet. Let him get into the AI now.
Okay, all right. I thought I missed something.
Is it a service whereby there's someone making a phone call, or is this actually the Google Assistant?
This is actually the Google Assistant.
No. My first impression is no chance. There's no way contextually it is capable of delivering this.
So their phrasing of this is very limited use cases. It can only set appointments for like hairdressing and things like that, and it can make reservations at restaurants and make an order. It can place an order for food. Those are the 3 use cases. Make an appointment for like a service, make a reservation, and then
how's the assistant going to handle things like language barriers and slang, colloquialisms, things like that. Like I find this to be like I don't know, not useful, especially when I have open table. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, this is the thing that got me too, was they did do a demo of things kind of going wrong where a woman had a thicker accent. She didn't understand what the Google Assistant was really asking, and the Google Assistant did a pretty good job of getting the conversation back on track and clarifying what it meant. Like, it actually accomplished its mission. Here's my issue with it, because I agree with you, Josh. There's a lot of nuance and a lot of things that kind of go into human back and forth conversation.
Yeah.
This is the wrong application of this technology. This should not be a technology that I go, you know what, I'm too lazy or too busy to make a hair appointment to get my hair cut, right? Let me send Google at that. Why don't you put this in the Google Assistant? Why don't you put this in the Google Home? So this way I can actually have a real conversation with my cylinder, rather than having to always have to say, okay, Google, what's the weather tomorrow?
CJ?
Yeah.
How lonely are you?
So won't we?
You want to talk to a cylinder?
Well,
look, it's just not
right now. How often do you use Siri?
Close. This is nowhere close to where it actually is right now. This is like, I don't know. It seems like decades ahead of where we are right now.
Well, I think it's this. It's kind of like climbing a mountain, right? When you're climbing it and you're getting close to the top, you're like, yeah, we did it, right? Like we're there. But you do have to crest the top. You actually have to go up to the top, and that's the hardest part, right? It's the last like 20 feet that can kill you. It's not the whole journey up there. You can usually make it through.
I don't know. I've seen Vertical Limit, and that tends to be false.
But here's the problem. The rest of it, just like you said, the nuance, the dealing with language barriers, all of that, that's a lot to tackle. And I think you're absolutely right, Josh. Google isn't there yet. But making this into, like, honestly, I never use Siri anymore, ever on my phone. I don't ask her to set, I don't ask her to set reminders. I don't ask her to send text messages.
All the time.
I don't ask her to do shit because she's terrible at it. Well, awful at it.
I think that you just need to get used to what the limitations currently are, right? And simplify your requests. That's the main problem, right? Is when an individual doesn't have like a well thought out plan for what they're going to request, and there's a bunch of that you've lost the battle. You might as well just do it manually. But I use it all the time. I use it on HomePod, and I use it even more in CarPlay. And in CarPlay, it's always, I'm not going to say that the greeting, but it's call this person, call that person, send a text, and then, as long as I keep it short and sweet, there are very few errors. Navigation is another good one. Looking up, quick answers to questions that Christian has 1,000 times a day. That's another good one. And certainly commanding music.
Yeah.
I wish HomePod could control my AV setup at home, because I would use it.
Right. So this is
I use it on Apple TV all the time. All the time.
I do too. I use the Apple TV.
I tend to agree. I use Siri all the time too when it goes off accidentally in my pocket. And I'm in a meeting and it starts playing hip hop music that is nowhere near my playlist. That happened today, by the way.
Yeah, no, that sounds right.
That's weird.
Here's the thing I'll say. Because there's another aspect to this. I'm going to cover that in just a second. I think using this technology to have a conversation with AI in order to get a set task completed is a great use case that would be on one of these virtual assistants in your home. I think that's the right use case to do it. The other thing that bothered a lot of people about this duplex demo was the fact that the person on the other end had zero idea that they were talking to a machine, a robot. And just like you said, Josh, if you kind of know that you're talking to a machine, you can strip down what you're going to say, what you're going to do to get the goal done, right? And in retail, because we all worked retail, right?
Right.
When someone calls into the store for retail, the goal is either get them in the store or make the sale now, right? I have a set of rules, and I have a goal. And if I know I'm talking to a robot, I will change it so I can just get the goal done, right? I'm not dealing with ums and ahs. Shut up. Yes. All right. You want to set an appointment for someone to come in to buy something. I have availability at 11 o'clock. Does that work for your client? Yes, it does. Okay, great. Done. See you at 11.
That's easy to fix by programming the AI to say, this is CJ Mellon's Google Assistant calling to make an appointment, interested in Tuesday at 10 a.m.
And that's what Google finally did after a lot of backlash saying, whoa, guys, like, this is the wrong way to do it. Like, you got to let people know that you're doing that. They have now said that the AI will identify itself when making calls to humans, which is good.
Right. The problem with that is that every single time that it makes a call and says, this is CJ Mellon's assistant calling to make an appointment on Tuesday at 10 a.m., the person on the other end is going to say, I'm sorry, who's calling?
Right, yeah.
And it's, I'm sorry, your name is what?
Right.
But then it's not, they don't have a name, right? So now it's just, we're down a whole rabbit hole.
And then there's on the Google, right. And that's the problem, right? This is, again, just like the fence removing thing on Google Photos, a feature that's really cool, but it's not ready. So don't show it. Or if it's got a better use case, make it a better use case. There's no reason to do this. Here's the other thing they're going to do with this technology. They're going to call up local businesses, small businesses, who, when the holidays come around, right, they don't have their hours published online. They're going to get the hours on, what are you open Memorial Day? Oh, well, we're open till 11. Here's my problem with that. Josh, how many times when I used to work for you, we would have like abbreviated holidays for, something going on. Someone would call the phone and I'd be like, yeah, we're open till 8. And then I hang up the phone and they'd be like, CJ, we're open till 9 today. I'm like, yep, I get off at 8, right? Well, we're open till 9. Well, here's the thing. Google now takes that one phone call, that one data set, and changes it across all their services. If it was me and you, if it was human to human, I've affected one sale. I've affected one person's life. That sucks. We lost one person. That's bad, but like, we didn't lose hundreds of them on Google, right? There's no checks and balances to this.
Yeah, and if you're a business staying open
especially a small business,
a little late for a holiday, that could be super detrimental.
And especially small businesses.
Does it change Google search results?
Yep.
Oh no.
Yeah.
This is a very sticky situation.
So I asked my friend who is a local business owner, he runs a comic book shop, and I said, hey, like, what do you think about the fact that Google's going to be calling and maybe try to like schedule someone to pick something up or schedule to see if you have an item in stock? And he's like, listen, I don't have time for some of these other stupid systems that do that, right? The online systems that are only focused on their products, right? And not my products, not my whole catalog, but just their stuff. I can't even deal with the fact of people calling me a million times saying, what are your hours? What are your hours? If I get it wrong to one robocall that I had no idea was a robocall, I've now hurt my business for like the whole day, and I'm going to lose a lot of money. So he said, listen, this is interesting technology. The tech is really cool, but Google's got to get its shit together before it gives it up. So this is not ready for consumers yet. They are going to be testing it, and only in states that they can use it, because there's also laws about recording phone calls. In order for the robot to even say, hi, this is the Google Assistant, and like get that back, you have to record the phone call. So it's a very, Brian, to steal Brian's, this very sticky situation in the sense of laws. So don't expect this to come out now. Don't expect this to be this everywhere. Expect this to be like the fence. It's going to come very soon, and we'll see when very soon actually arrives.
Do better, Gavin Belson.
I'm guessing after Skynet takes over.
Sounds about it.
After it becomes self-aware.
All right, let's talk about the world of movies and TV in a segment that we call Screen to Screen. And as Brian says, everything comes back to MoviePass with me as a subscriber. There's a couple things. This headline is fantastic from Variety. Enjoy MoviePass while you can, folks. This is a follow-up to what I talked about a few weeks ago, that the company that owns MoviePass is just bleeding money due to its practices. MoviePass also today, this is not in your show notes yet, they decided to make things way more complicated, that if I refer someone to MoviePass, you get a month of MoviePass for free. So, I mean, like, you're not paying any money into the program at all. So they're just saying, you know what we're doing? We're bleeding money. I don't know how long we can stay in business. That sucks. Let's give away free service for like a month. Let's take no money from anybody.
Seems smart.
Again, they talked about buying MoviePhone to do reviews. All the plans that MoviePass has to make money are like 5 years out. And I don't know what's going to happen to it. And if it goes out of business, I saved a lot of money going to the movies. I'm going to think about going to the movies differently now, which is exactly what the theaters didn't want. So I'm very curious to hear what you guys have to think about the fact that, again, another person is saying, hey, guys, MoviePass is probably going to bite the dust.
Does MoviePass have an app? Like
yes.
For your phone? Yeah.
Yes. That's the only way you can use it.
Only way you can use it, right? So it has an app for your phone, bunch of permissions.
Tons of data.
In the EULA, right? Tons of data.
Tons of data.
They're just selling all of that.
But apparently all that data is not as valuable as the movie tickets that it's giving out. Like, that data is not giving them as much money back.
I don't know, man. I happen to think that data is a bajillion times more valuable.
It's way more valuable, but right now in the current climate, people don't want to be buying data. People don't want to be buying a lot of personal data.
Jim Bob's camera shop down the street doesn't buy data.
Right.
Giant corporations do, and they don't care about public perception. At least not about buying your data.
I hear you.
So, I mean, there's no way that MoviePass isn't exploiting every single character of data collected.
Right, but the crux of this article was an independent, party came in and reviewed the books and said, listen, you may be collecting tons of data. You may be selling tons of data. You are also hemorrhaging money. It costs more money to retain a subscriber than it is to actually let them go on with the rest of life and sell that data that you're getting from them.
How long have they been in business now?
Well, they've been in business for a few years, but they've been doing the $10 all you can eat feature for maybe about a year and a half, roughly.
Somebody's taking money out of this thing. I'm not saying the business is solvent. I'm saying the money's going. It's going somewhere.
It's going somewhere.
There's money.
Right. Well, here's my question. If you knew that MoviePass was on its last legs, they weren't doing it, would you guys even consider buying a MoviePass at all, even on a monthly service, especially with the way you guys go to the movies?
I haven't considered it yet.
Listen, first off, no. Secondly, I'm still convinced that the CEO of MoviePass somewhere in time made a wish at the fortune teller into Carnival and wished to be big, because this makes no sense.
Well, he was the guy who pioneered Netflix. He used to be the CEO of Netflix. Helped create it.
He had a really great idea, and now he's gone crazy.
That's what they said with Netflix.
Here's the thing. First off, Netflix is a completely different business model, and I got news for you. Netflix almost went bankrupt based on his business model. So
that's where we are now.
your argument is moot because there's no streaming solution for MoviePass. Nope.
There is. They bought a streaming company.
To stream what?
To stream the movies that they're buying at festivals.
Great. Awesome. I look forward to watching Daffodils in the Sun for an hour and a half.
But there is a streaming component.
If a trailer has made me want to see a movie to the point where I have to drive to a location and spend a lot of money on concessions and take 2 hours, 3 hours out of my day to see it, they deserve my $10 to $15.
Yeah.
I will
but
not
they get
be
your
buying
$10 to
$15.
Maybe.
No,
they do.
They
don't know.
They deserve here's my money. They don't deserve here's my money to this middleman. He's going to pay you the rest later.
No, he pays you
That's
right
not
away.
No.
See, my big problem, I agree with Brian, but in a different way. I don't like conditions being opposed.
Okay,
upon
I
me.
can see you on that one. Yeah.
I'm very if you tell me you can't go here, my immediate reaction is to go to that place.
Right.
So
when you hear no IMAX, no 3D, you're like, fuck it, you want I'm going? IMAX 3D right now.
it's not a matter of preference at that point. It's a matter of you telling me I can't. I don't like limitations.
Right,
From the jump, I was out, right? I don't want to be told what theater I can go to, right? Because now I'm already cut down to less convenient times, maybe, or I can't see it in IMAX 2D. Right. So no, and it when there are all those limitations baked into the terms and conditions, I'm not going to sign up. I just because it doesn't seem like it's worth it to me, and I don't go to that many movies. I just go see Avengers a bunch of times.
Right. See, for me,
I go to a lot of
movies, and I saw someone saying, "Hey, man, psst, yo, you want to get in the movies for free? I'll sneak you in the movies." And
did he open his trench coat and show you all the MoviePass cards?
Absolutely, he did, buddy. I saw the MoviePass.
He also had a bunch of slap bracelets that he was selling for a special event.
Right. But he was like, "Hey, listen,
slap bracelets.
I can get you into all the 2D movies. I can't get you into 3D." Like, oh well, fuck it. I'll just go pay for the 3D movie. Yeah, I know, but next time I'll be here. I'll be here next time when you see a 2D movie. You just let me know. And I was like, oh, all right, cool. Like that. For me, I'm gonna ride this gravy train until it's done. And I'm going to enjoy the fact that I saw a ton of movies and spent like $90 for the whole year. That's it. I spent $90 for the whole year to see all the movies that I saw.
I think when all is said and done, I'll spend $90 on Avengers
Oh,
alone.
that's true. Right. All right, I want to veer away from MoviePass. I want to talk a little bit about Netflix. As I said a couple weeks ago, there are a lot of movies and shows just begging for your attention on Netflix. And I want to shine a spotlight on one that I really enjoyed. It's Netflix's original series, The Rain. It's actually a really nice show. It's done very well. The premise really comes down to that there is some kind of eco disaster, and that if you are caught in the rain or exposed to the rain, you die instantly. There's a group of survivors that have been down in a bunker for 6 years, and they escape out into society and have to deal with what's going on with the rain.
The problem is this takes place in Seattle. So
no, even worse. The problem is it's originally a Dutch original Netflix show, so it's dubbed in English, and you need subtitles. But once you get past that, it's a really great show. And I highly recommend it. Brian, I think you will enjoy it. And Josh, I don't know. You're always on the fence with shows for me. So add it to the list, Brian. But if you've watched The Rain, I would love to hear from you in the comments or on Twitter or on voicemail, convincing these two guys that they should devote the time for, I think, like 9 episodes. It's very, very quick, very easy. Highly recommend it.
I avoid the rain at all costs to begin with, so sure, why not?
That's because you're so sweet and you'll melt if you get a little bit of wet.
Like, I heard Brian can't stand the rain against his window, but there's the you guys don't get the Missy Elliott reference, and that's sad for me, actually. I'm not sure I'm gonna ever take time watching a Danish show about an eco disaster.
It's not like it's a
Danish show.
Watch the trailer. The trailer will convince you, because Jenny was like, I'm not watching a show that's dubbed and I need the subtitle. Like, I need 2 things in order to like understand the language. And I'm like, trust me, it's pretty interesting. She watched the trailer. She's like, yeah, we binge watched the whole first season. We got it done in 3 nights. It's that, and like Jenny and I were up to like we're at 12:30. Like, I have to get up and like go to work in like 6 hours. Like, you want to watch one more? I do want to watch one more. Thank you. And then we got done. Like, great. I am not getting sleep. It was really that good. I highly recommend that you get in there. First 10 minutes, I think you'll be gripped. They just go right into it. They do not pussyfoot around. First 10 minutes.
Whoa. I don't want to be gripped. I don't need to be gripped. That just leads to very uncomfortable, sticky situations. I'm good.
This is like sometimes we go lowbrow.
I can be persuaded in being pussyfooted, though.
Oh, indeed.
So I want to hear from you, listener. Sound off in the comments if you've seen this. Convince these two that it's worth their time. In some movie follow-up news, was it Josh? You saw Happy Death Day?
Yeah, he did. I wanted to see it. I didn't get a chance to yet.
What?
I'm the one who brought it to your people's attention, and I haven't watched it yet.
Brian did put it in the blockbuster. CJ, you said how excited you were to see it. You put it in your top 5 of last year.
I did.
It just missed my top 5 of last year, but it was one of my favorite movies from last year. Very interesting movie, and I believe that we all agreed, or at least Brian and I did, because we do that, agree on things. Is that this has franchise written all over it.
And
yes,
they have just started production on Happy Death Day 2, which I'm very happy for. The first movie got $123 million worldwide, and I imagine that movie cost like a nickel, and like maybe like
it was a Coke and a smile.
Like it cost rainbows and dreams,
right? To make so all profit right there, baby. I'm very excited for it. If you haven't seen Happy Death Day, I'm looking at you, Brian. Get your act together and go watch it. I'm sure it's on demand or in the $5 bin already at a retailer. It's
so worth a watch.
Absolutely, definitely check it out. And I'm not a fan of horror movies. I'm not a fan of slasher movies, and this was not that. It was its own little thing.
It was on par with Scream.
Okay, yeah, no, I can give that stamp of approval for it. I'm right on board.
And I'm not sure I know a ton of people that didn't like Scream. Right? I mean, it had funny moments. It was scary at moments. It was, it made you think. That's Happy Death Day does that in a very cool way.
I think the only person who didn't like Scream was David Arquette, but I think that's in retrospect, not when it happened. I think he was very much on board for it when
cost me my life.
All right, Rick and Morty fans, we have been on the edge. We have been waiting. When the hell are we getting more Rick and Morty? When is it going to happen? The last time we heard Dan Harmon was in negotiations, and we'll have to see. No one's approved it yet. Well, they made news with this. Like, this was on the actual news. Rick and Morty renewed for 70 more episodes. 70.
That's at least 4 more seasons.
That is crazy. I don't know how long it's going to take to get 70 episodes. I imagine 9.5 years.
I would imagine now that they have the order put in that they're just going to pump them out.
Do you?
Yeah, I am imagining in a perfect world where I rule the medias, they get to work right away, and maybe we wait another 8 months for the first couple episodes of season 4, but after that, they just keep making them, start cranking them out, and I get 4 seasons in a timely fashion.
Rick and Morty have done 32 episodes over 3+ seasons.
Yeah.
Right.
And that was from 2013 through 2017.
But that was also because of negotiations and not knowing if they were renewed and all this other stuff.
Well, like 70 episodes?
That's a lot.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
So?
Well, I mean,
think of how much money though that show brings into Cartoon Network.
It's what is that? 2.25 something X what they've already done.
Yeah.
Sure.
People love the show, as we saw with people at McDonald's with Szechuan sauce.
It's a great show.
I don't understand any of these references. I've never seen an episode. I don't understand.
That's okay. I will.
Like, is this something I need to binge watch?
I don't know.
It's something you should at least check out the first couple episodes.
I agree. This is not a show that's for everybody. Like, it's like in the sense of the humor will not land with a lot of people. Not like you're not smart enough to like Rick and Morty. No, it's not that. Just like it's not funny to everybody. But it's really good. And Josh, because you didn't love this show, I have a lot of swag from one of your loot crates for it. So I
didn't love it.
And I encourage you to not watch it, so I may get more free stuff from loot crates. But everybody else, go ahead and give it a shot. But not you, Josh. Not you, because you get the XL ones too. So they're like, it's
CJ
good stuff.
benefits all the swag,
and I benefit greatly from it. So definitely worth it. The other thing that we got to talk about, and I know it's going to hurt you too, we got news from Lethal Weapon from Fox that they are going to be recasting.
Is it
Riggs.
official from Fox?
It is official from Fox.
I don't see a link in the show notes.
I don't have the show notes.
The show notes?
It was on it's on our Instagram.
Can you put a show boat into the show note so I can read the show notes? I just don't remember it being official from Fox. Show me it's official from Fox, and then I'll be upset. I'm not going to be upset. I was right. But anyway, just show me the official notes.
Yeah, you did say they were going to fire him anyway.
I am very sad to hear this news for one reason only, because of your recommendations consistently. I started watching this show, and now I'm really sad because I like this guy a lot.
Right, because he's perfect as Riggs. He is Martin Riggs. So I'm like, it almost doesn't matter who you put in there. They'd have to be instantly better than him, and not in a Don Cheadle saying, "It's me, I'm here, get used to it" kind of way.
Right.
I'm like 8 episodes behind on this season. And now if this is indeed official from Fox,
okay,
I kind of don't want to finish it.
No, you won't. And you shouldn't.
So here, I'm sorry, Brian, let me clarify. It is.
Oh, so it's not official from Fox.
Hold on. It's not official for Fox. However, Fox has canceled and renewed all their other shows with the exception of Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon's on the bubble. I knew that.
But that's the only one left.
Yeah, I know. Because they're trying to figure out what they're going to do with this.
Right, so...
I mean, it's just... It doesn't make sense. If you replace him, you have what? Maybe a season left?
Maybe. I'd give it 2. I'd give it 2 because a season, just to play it out, and then they might renew it for like half a season after that to try and fix some things, and then it's not going to work, and then it'll die slowly.
He was perfect.
This is exactly what I said last week.
Yeah,
when
you
we
called
talked
this,
about
and I'm really mad that you called this because I really like this show now. My wife hates it,
which is
I
why
really love it.
which is why like I fell behind on all of my TV watching. I have so much to watch, and like I'm 8 episodes behind on a bunch of stuff, including Lethal Weapon. And if this is true, I'm just not going to finish it because I don't need to deal with that.
No, I'm okay with dealing with this disappointment. Just to watch the rest of it, just to see what this guy's done, because I think it's pretty good. I think it's really interesting. I think it's very unique, but it's gonna hurt when it doesn't, if it doesn't click. Here's the thing. Hold on, Brian. Here's what I need you to say. I need you to say that they are going to recast it with someone who's not bad, right? It's someone right now who's trying to fill the shoes and it's kind of awkward, but they grow into it in their own, and then they stay around for a few more seasons. That's what I need you to say to make that a reality. Can you please say that?
Here's my prediction. I don't think they recast Riggs. I think they kill Riggs.
Oh,
what?
And they cast a new partner.
Oh God, no!
Called Riggs Light, and they try to develop a new character who's kind of like Riggs, but not exactly like Riggs because we killed Riggs.
That's even worse.
I'm sorry, Riggs.
This is the jungle gym. What you just said is the jungle gym of Fox.
Here's the thing, because here's what you're proposing right now. If you recast Riggs at this moment, it is just like if you were to say, you know what? We've got half of this movie done. Let's just recast the Joker now and finish it with a different actor. Would you be okay with that?
No, because they were in Dr. Parnassus area.
I'm not even... I'm not watching the Dr. Parnassus joke aside. Heath Ledger was the Joker.
Right.
And if it was halfway through the movie...
If it's halfway through the movie? No.
If it's halfway through the movie and they recasted it to a different person, how okay would you be with that? You wouldn't be. As Josh has pointed out, this guy is Riggs. He is too good at this role. You can't just cast anybody and expect them to be as good. They're probably going to kill off Riggs and then try a third season with a different partner. And then they'll think, oh, we could do really cool story arc about Murtaugh and him dealing with the fact that Riggs is dead, and it could be really, really
it's Scrubs Med School. It's Scrubs Med School of Scrubs. No. Yeah, no.
That's my prediction.
Oh God, I hate you. All right,
sorry.
I'm in pain.
Sorry. Josh is just completely shut down.
Brian, here's another one for you. I'm curious if you are as passionate as the rest of the internet is. I saw that Brooklyn Nine-Nine was also canceled.
Yeah, I am really upset by this. Have you ever watched that show?
But there's rumors that maybe Hulu or Netflix is interested in picking it up and going forward with it.
Good, I'm okay with that.
As long as it's not Yahoo, I'm okay with anyone picking it up and running with it.
Yeah, that's a good show. It's a funny show. I'm completely okay with somebody else picking up the ball and running with it if Fox doesn't want to.
Well, we'll see. The other thing we got was a trailer for Arrested Development Season 5. I have huge reservations about this because I did not like Season 4 on Netflix.
I did not like Season 4 either, but did you watch the recut Season 4?
No, I did not watch the recut Season 4.
I have not yet either, but I have talked to somebody who has, and they said it feels like the first 3 seasons.
Okay.
Apparently, they removed what used to be Season 4 and put this recut in Netflix in its place.
Oh, I like that idea better.
So it's not like you can go on. It's not like go on YouTube and watch some fan cut. Like they actually legit recut the season because Season 4 was broken out into here's Michael's story, here's Job's story.
This weird non-linear.
I think what they did is they cut it up, they put it in the pieces, and then they like shoved it all together as how it should fit.
Okay.
And you can watch that on Netflix now. And I'm thinking about watching it and seeing if it's good. And if it is, I mean, I watched I watched the trailer for Season 5 and I'm on board. This show's hilarious. I think it's fantastic.
I can officially put the stamp on Seasons 1 through 3. Like, yes, please watch it. I would say that kind of nerd approved. Season 4, if it's recut, then I'm willing to examine it. I didn't even watch the trailer for 5 because I didn't want to be let down. But if they took that feedback so to heart that they actually removed the original and put the recut in there, this is like a Blade Runner thing. There's like 9 different cuts of it apparently. I will probably give Season 5 a shot.
Yeah.
All right. I feel better now. Thank you. Can you do the same thing now?
I taketh and then I giveth away.
Can you do the same thing now for the Predator trailer that came out?
I fucked up that saying, hang on, I giveth and then I taketh away.
Right, okay.
Or I taketh away and then I giveth.
Okay, but what about the...
Either way, I'm taking something and you're getting something.
Right, very sticky situation.
And it's not sticky in any way.
Okay, good, it's not. The Predator trailer.
The Predator trailer.
Someone make me feel better about what I saw.
No.
Why do you feel bad about what you saw?
Someone talk to me about why this movie looks terrible.
You guys thought it looked terrible?
I didn't think it was great.
It's a teaser. It's not.
Yeah, I
to
understand it's a teaser. I'm saying I don't understand what's happening, and even from like a popcorn type approach, I'm just not. I'm not into it really. If the second trailer adds a bit more context, okay, and if the final trailer gets me excited, I can see me coming into the fold here. But right now, no.
From what I understand, they're going a little bit more into basics, and I don't think you're going to see the Predator for a ton of the movie. I think he's going to be this killer in the shadows, much like he was in the first movie. If that's the case, I'm on board.
The right now the only thing that has me on board is Olivia Munn and Keegan Michael Key. Like,
I don't buy either of them as assassins or scientists.
Me neither.
I'm just, I don't know about that. But listen, they're both great actors, and they'll probably surprise me. I mean, I'm down. What I don't understand is the kid. I don't need the kid in this movie. Whatever his role is, just take him out. Let me see a bunch of badass assassins get assassinated by a true assassin. This movie should be called Assassins. It's the unofficial sequel to the Antonio Banderas Sylvester Stallone movie.
Well, it's coming out in September. Just like you said, it is a teaser. So, take that for what it is. But yeah, I'm with Josh in this. I'm not happy with what I've seen.
See, if the Predator's in it, I'm gonna watch it. Just like listen,
I don't have the loyalty to the Predator franchise like that I can. Yeah, I'm 100% seeing this. I am not that loyal to this franchise.
Nah, I'm watching it. I'll give it a shot. Listen, I've been through worse. I watched Alien vs. Predator Requiem. I can get through this.
Touche. Well, you know what, Brian? I want to talk about things that can make us happy then. Right? Only happy news for
I was
right
happy
now.
about the Predator. You guys are not happy.
Well, everyone's going to be happy because we're going to talk about the world of comics, how it's affecting TV, how it's affecting movies, but most of all, how it's affecting, I'm going to say Canada this week. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Cape Talk.
Cape Talk!
So, Deadpool, again, just... whoever's running the marketing for Deadpool
keeps on running that marketing train. Choo choo.
I want to buy you all the beers. All the beers. They're doing a fantastic job. They put out this lovely trailer of Deadpool apologizing to David Beckham for a joke that he made in movies.
In the first Deadpool.
It's adorable. I was absolutely enamored by it. I highly suggest you go to the show notes, give it a watch, and then come right back because you're going to enjoy the chuckle you're going to get out of it. Brian, what did you think?
The best part about this is the whole thing opens up with David Beckham just playing that scene in Deadpool on repeat, where I think he says something like, "You ever hear the guy talk? It sounds like he has a cock in his mouth."
He mouth sexed a can of helium.
That's right.
He mouth sexed the can of helium, and he's just playing it on repeat. And then Deadpool keeps on knocking at his door, playing love songs, showing up with balloons, wearing a soccer jersey with 2 tickets to the big game, and I don't know what big game. I don't know sports, but I'm assuming football, not North American football, football. Anyway.
The mariachis got me.
The mariachis are great. But what was even greater is that when Deadpool's just like, "Hey, I'm really sorry." He's like, "What are you sorry for?" He's trying to act like it doesn't bother him.
Right.
He's like, "I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. I thought you were over here to apologize about a string of shitty movies that you've done," because he started listing all these
terrible Ryan Reynolds movies.
Yeah, it was really good.
Again, whoever's running the marketing, I love you. I'd love to have them on the show. Can someone make that happen?
No.
I just want to talk to that guy. I want to make that happen. The other thing that they did is they released their own spoiler letter, just like the Avengers did. So on the letter, which I'm going to have Brian read in a moment, the top is scratched out where it says on letterhead 20th Century Fox 2 TBD. So that's already pretty fantastic. And then Brian, what does the letter actually say?
It says, to the greatest fans in the whole universe.
Greaterist.
I'm sorry, you're right. To the greatest fans in the whole universe. We have embarked on the Deadpool 2, this kind of your guys' fault world tour. Almost everyone involved in the film has given maximum effort the past 2 years, maintaining the highest level of super secrets, like how David Blaine catches bullets in his mouth, and the secret blend of 11 herbs and spices in Colonel Sanders' delicious mustache. Only a handful of people know the film's true plot. One of them is not Ryan Reynolds. We're asking that when you see Deadpool 2, you don't say a fucking word about the fun shit in this movie, because it'd be super lame to spoil the fact that Deadpool dies in this one. Kidding, not kidding, kidding, question mark? Godspeed, X. Hashtag Wade Wilson demands your sister sorry stupid autocorrect silence.
So they're mocking the Thanos demands your silence letter that came out for Avengers Infinity War. And I, again, this is Deadpool. Like, this is exactly what he would do if he was a real person.
Did you see the Russo brothers' response to this?
No. What was the Russo brothers' response
They
to this?
responded with an Infinity Gauntlet giving him the finger, to which Ryan Reynolds responded, I deserve that. and then there was a little Deadpool sort of fading away into nothing response after that.
Oh, God damn it. That's so good. This movie can't come out soon enough. I mean, it's coming. I mean,
it's coming. In
this
fact,
week.
when this drops on the 14th, it will be out in 3 days.
3 days. Can't come
Well,
soon.
for you a little bit longer, because it's technically Friday.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the time of the show where that kind of nerd gives a topic, a product, whatever, the third degree in a segment that we call the nerd degree. And up on the chopping block this week is a wearable device that will turn your computer into something that looks like the Minority Report, but it got really lazy. So this way you can control your computer with like muscle. This is dumb. I can't get why. Why?
Well, I mean, it's programmable.
Yeah.
It seems to respond well. And, man, I spend, a lot of nights in a hotel with my MacBook, sort of on the coffee table, and I'm like lounging on the couch there, and I just don't want to sit up and change something or open a new tab or whatever. If this allows me to like relax and be a little bit lazy and still, like, it seems to be totally programmable. I mean, it didn't seem to have any disconnect between system functions and unique gestures. I do think me conducting an orchestra of some sort in front of my MacBook seems a little bit like a waste of time.
Right.
But I mean, if you're like the type of Tony Stark person that can actually do things by manipulating hand gestures and, doing that, like, great. This is probably a pretty cool thing, but I'm not that guy.
See, for me, this seems like it's a 2-hour setup, right? To calibrate it, get all the controls, all the macros.
It's going to be way longer than 2 hours.
2 hours for 20 minutes of, wow, that was cool. Now what? Just like they have in their demo, they're like, yeah, you can play a racing game, and now this is how you drive your car, and you swipe through slideshows. Like this, there's another thing that does this as well. That it's a keyboard, right? So instead of having to type on a physical surface, you do smaller hand gestures, almost like sign language, essentially.
Honestly, on MacBook, on iMac, you can use Better Touch Tool and really configure some pretty complicated gestures.
Yeah, and if you want to use your hands, you got Magic Leap, which
also with built into most of the PC OS at this point, Windows as well has gestures built into the screen, like touch screens and trackpads, things like that. So it's a cool idea. I'm not cool about wearing a thing on my hand. So I mean,
Brian, what do you think?
I have two thoughts. The whole concept of motion controls doesn't work. It didn't work for the Wii, the Wii U, the Xbox Connect. It just doesn't make any sense. Nobody, it's a novelty item that everybody gets really excited about for like 2 months, and then it's over, it's done, and then it sits there and collects dust. My second thought is this: when I am watching the second season of Cobra Kai on RedTube, how is this going to work? And I feel like it's going to interfere with what I'm trying to accomplish in my enjoyment of said videos that might be found on RedTube, and it's going to be a very sticky mess. I'm not about this.
The only thing I could see this being useful for in any kind of computing situations, anything that does with a 3D model or works in 3D space of turning and manipulating some things. But at that point, you're just like, if you're doing that, you're just, why not step into some kind of VR or AR environment rather than dealing with this stupid hand thing? I also can't find a price for it, like at all. Like I can't even see how much you're supposed to buy for it. That's not the right sentence. I don't see how much how much supposed to buy for it. Those are things that sound right, but then when you listen back, you're like, that's not English. Not right. The other thing is I can't find a price. I don't know how much you're supposed to pay for it. I don't know how much. Pre-orders are coming soon. You get 50% off if you sign up for their email list, but
50% off of an indeterminate price.
Right. What are you doing?
You don't know how much it is until you actually click buy now.
There's so many. And listen, here's the other part. I know this may help with, I don't know, maybe someone with accessibility or something like that, which is pretty cool, but they're not pitching it towards that. Let's just say this thing is $2.99. Is that too much?
No, I mean, I might even pay like $5 for it.
I'll wait for the 5th generation of this where you can just implant it in my hand as a little chip and then wave it through. Josh, on our normal scale, the one that we use every single week, we use the same unit of measure every single week. Where does this fall for the nerd degree?
On a scale of 1 to 5 sticky tube socks, I give it 2 sticky tube socks.
Just so I'm clear, the more amount of tube socks, the better?
You know, I didn't think that through, but apparently you'd have to think that if you had more sticky tube socks, you may be generally a happier
person. Okay, yeah. All right. That's I don't know why I'm asking, because we do the same thing every single week, so I do apologize for forgetting for a moment. I think when it comes to sticky tube socks, this is the one that fell on something that you actually use every single day, like your headphones, and now you have to throw your headphones out.
Oh, that's interesting.
I broke Brian. I've never done this before.
How to get anywhere near your headphones?
Don't ask questions. Don't ask questions.
I think that's what he's playing the scenario out in his head.
That, or he's thrown out a pair of headphones.
Wouldn't your headphones be in your ears? How the fuck does that happen?
No, headphones are. Listen, if I'm doing that, right, the world is my oyster. All right, and I'm playing it through however I want to. I'm not listening to headphones.
You're playing it through your home pod?
Whatever. My sound bar, my Apple TV.
With your daughter sleeping in the next room?
No, they're out. Listen, no, the world is my oyster. There's no one else in the house. Headphones are down on the floor by the foot of the bed, and I'm like, yeah, and I throw them like, no!
In the terms of sticky tube socks, this is a not completely sticky tube sock because mom walked in right in the middle.
Oh God. Oh. You went with mom? Ooh.
Wow.
It's Mother's Day just came and went. I didn't know you.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day, Mom.
I hope she doesn't listen to this episode.
Oh, I hope she doesn't, but they do have a 2-day drive back, so she probably will.
Ooh. Sorry, Mama Thornton. And Papa Thornton.
I apologize to all the Thorntons, just in general.
No, not Mike. We're not apologizing to Mike.
No, I'm apologizing to all of them for 2 reasons. One, you listen to this, and I love you for it, and you're subjected to it. 2, I'm clearly the best sibling, so I'm sorry you have to live with that realization every day.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is our show. Before we leave, I just want to say thank you for listening to 150 episodes of the three of us babbling on, especially when we go lowbrow like we do today. It's a testament of your incredible sense of humor that you come back every single week. So I want to thank you so much for just being the amazing fans that you are. Anyway, since you've made it through this episode, one of the unique parts of our show is that we want to have your voice on with us. So what you can do is call 484-373-4119. The number is also in the show notes. You can leave a voicemail that we'll play on the show. So any thoughts, feelings, or ideas that you have, we'd absolutely love to hear them. You can also find us on Twitter at That Kind of Nerd, Facebook, and on Instagram at That Kind of Nerd Podcast. So I also, finally, before we leave, I do want to make a shameless plug. I was a guest on our friend of the show, TD. TD has his own podcast called Behind the Cut. He invited me on the show, and we just talked about what it's like to be a podcaster, what it's like to be creative. I apparently gave a very motivational speech to follow your dreams. It was kind of like old school, where Will Ferrell kind of blacks out and then just says something and then comes back.
You battled the Raging Cajun?
You got it. I somehow pulled it off. So if you're a creative person, if you especially love esports or photography or videography, highly recommend you check out TD's show Behind the Cut. I will include a link to my episode in the show notes as a shameless plug. Please go there and give him a 5-star review. He does a really good show. I recommend it a lot to you. So again, thank you guys so much for making us your walk around your neighborhood or your drive to work, and we will see you next week.
If you love comics and sci-fi and technology, television, video games, and fantasy, well, take a listen to our show, I'm sure you'll see there's many points where we can agree. Like that Martha as a plot point was just too absurd, and Apple versus Android is a case to be heard, and that Josh Trank's new Fantastic Four was a turd. Well, welcome to the club, cause you are that kind of nerd.
I'm watching a commercial with Carrie Eloise right now.
It's awesome.
The commercial?
Great.
Okay, yeah, the commercial.
Thank you for being a friend.
Did you travel down the road and back again right there?
I you know what? I did. I just came back.
Brian, your heart
you know
is true.
what?
You're
They
a
are
pal
all-
and a confidant.
They are. I'm a pal. I'm a confidant.
Thank you.
I mean,
for
hey,
being-
while you're traveling down the road and back again, you can just, come and knock on my door. I'll be waiting for you. I might just include it all in the show. Fuck it. 150th episode. Takan Raw 150.
Oh, don't
Things
say
get
raw with
sticky.
sticky situations. This is
Yes.
no.
All raw.
There's a
all
couple
the time.
things. Oh man, I have thoughts.